I'm going to go down the line, start from there. Would you like to use the mic to say anything, Becky? Any point of discussion?
My understanding is that there's a police investigation involved in this, and all of these charges, there are some that are, I don't understand. They're very suspect, and so hopefully we'll get, the city will give us the information and break it down for us so we can see. They came up with a number. I want to know how they came up with that number, and I want to know who these charges were for. There's charges on here to Universal, and repeatedly the same amount. What was it for? Can you call them and ask them?
Let me comment on that here. Here's what I can say to the board members. The board members, can you stay with me for a second? The board members are represented by the city attorney's office as elected city officials. So the information that I have from the city attorney's office is that any board member who wants to understand more and wants to talk more about this needs to call Mr. Martinez at the city attorney's office, and it will become a conversation between the city attorney and the city's attorney's client, who is the board member. So to that end, any board member who has a detailed question they want to know more, I have been instructed to ask them to contact Darren Martinez at the city attorney's office.
Okay, just one more question, and if you can't answer it, I understand. At any time, were these charges reimbursed with cash?
I don't know.
That's it.
David?
No comments.
At this time, I'm glad we have discovered all these charges, and I'm looking forward to hear what the city attorney feedback, so that we better understand what each item is and which one is the legitimate and which one is not. So thank you for the board for discovering actually all this discrepancy in the accounts. Thank you. I'm actually deeply saddened by the findings, honestly. You guys all trust us. We're here for the community and for the city. And I am deeply saddened something even like that would run through somebody's mind, first of all. And I hope the city's attorney's office keeps on investigating along with law enforcement, and we'll find out more regarding the matter soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I went back to just look at the board meeting minutes from the time period that the city included on their itemized list of questionable charges, and that they asked Mr. O'Rourke to explain. And the MERs, which are the month-end reports, were approved each time without question by the board and without the proper documentation according to the meeting minutes that are posted on the PRNC website. So I'm going to read to you the reporting requirements as per Empower LA. That's the branch of the Los Angeles city government that oversees neighborhood councils. The reporting requirements are each month a monthly expenditure report, an MER, of all financial transactions must be reviewed and approved by the board in a public meeting and submitted to the department. MERs are due 10 days after the neighborhood council meeting in which they were approved. The report must include the MER form, bank statements, and original receipts corresponding to the transactions on the bank statement, as well as the board vote count forms approving the transaction. So the question is, for me, is why did the board members from the 2015-16 fiscal year approve the MERs? And I've heard at the last meeting, and I've heard it sort of floated around, and I'm just going to tell you from my mind, I don't accept the excuse that the gas leak made it impossible to conduct normal PRNC board business, because this had been going on well before the gas leak, all right? And I also do not accept the excuse that board members who sat on the board and now serve on this board say, I wasn't the treasurer, or it's a difficult job. When you become a board member of a neighborhood council, you have to take funding training, okay? And in that training, you are told explicitly that it is the responsibility of the entire neighborhood council governing board to manage and oversee the funds of the council. End of the story. So the onus is on that board. And this is the same board that approved city funds for chainsaws, mailboxes, coffee carts, backpacks to the LAFD and the LAPD, which are worthy contributions, believe me, but it's not allowed per the city, okay, per city rules. And the fact that this went on for so long is really embarrassing for both the city and the board. And I know some of those board members who were on that board sit on this board, and I would just urge you to please go and retake your funding and ethics training. Thank you, that's all.
Yeah, I was on the board while this thing is happening, and I really didn't pay much attention. I confronted them here and there once in a while, but I was not able to get a clear answer from the president, vice president, or anybody. And that's how it went. And I feel very sorry that I was one of the board members sitting there, but there was a limitation. And I don't like to see anything like this happening, and it's a tax money, and I feel so sad, okay, bad. I feel really bad personally about that. And there's one thing I noticed. Page June 24, 2016. And we have a payment to More Business online payment website. Okay, More Business is the vendor doing our PRNC website, I believe. Okay, I don't know why it's listed here, and I really like to have a full explanation on each item. I think city clerk, they get paid like working 8 hours a day, right? So they can provide more detailed explanation why it's on there.
Can I? Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead, Jason. I'd like to respond. Go ahead, respond.
Okay, Alex, I just want to know, want to say, this list is not an itemized list of anything specific. I think this is a printout of the entire list. I suspect some of these charges are legitimate, like the More Business that paid for the website development. So I'm not saying, again, if you read the letter, it doesn't describe what the attachment list is.
That's what the problem is.
Well, I appreciate that, but it is what it is. The letter simply says to him, we need an explanation of this. Give us more explanation. It doesn't say that everything on this list is a problem from their perspective. And so to that end, I don't want to read too much into it. And, okay, I'll leave it at that.
Before I start, I'd like to know if we have an update on the committee that, I don't know if it's established or not, but the bylaws committee, do we have any update on its formation or timeline for when it's going to be formed, or?
I'll answer it loudly. No, it's in my hands, and I have not begun its activity.
Testing, okay. So my issue here is a couple things. I think that, you know, when I came to this board, I went back and I looked at all the transactions. I downloaded all the transactions, and one in particular stood out to me, and it was for $5,000, and it was to an individual, and the name is in here, and it was for benches for the school, apparently. And I was wondering, if it's benches for the school, then why would it go to an individual? Why would it not go to a bench company or the school or something like that? So, you know, when you receive stolen funds, then is that not a crime? Let me finish. I'll tell you where it is. Okay, sorry.
Tell us where it is.
It's on, just look for the biggest number. It's towards the end. Ripsame or something like that. So the point is that when an individual receives money or benefits from money, then that person potentially committed a crime as well. Okay, so I fully agree with all of Jen's comments as well with respect to the lack of oversight among board members, and I think there is some accountability there as well that needs to be looked into. So I think what I would like to see from this board is all of the bank statements, every single one, okay? And I would like to see all the MERs, you know, maybe Andrew's not gonna be happy, but I think we need to get these documents in order, and the documents that are required should be there, and whether they're made public or made available to the board, they should be in the possession of the board so the board can review them and go through, because perhaps there is more than this, and perhaps we need to understand what occurred. And the reason I bring up the bylaws committee is because part of what we do is learn from the mistakes that were made so that we can close these loopholes. And you know, we don't have a censure policy for the board. We don't have you know, standing rules for the board. And this is what we need. We don't have document retention, you know, processes in place that are, in my opinion, adequate enough. I think that we have to have a place where we keep all of our documents, because if we had a proper document retention in place, when Andrew took over, everything would be there. And so when the new guy comes in, everything should be there. So there should be no need to find anything or anything like that. And let me just finish.
Wrap it up.
The certain things are the property of the board. Okay, and we run into this with different things, but the property of the board should be in the board's possession. That includes lists. You know, I know one board member stepped down and took a list from the election. Okay, that's board property. That
Can we stick to the
list.
budget discussion right now?
Okay, I think it covered everything.
Okay. Can I'd like to make a final comment and proceed to the next topic. We need to take a step back a little bit. All these procedures that you're asking for are already in place. The city has very clear procedures on documentation, very clear procedures on filings. Everything is crystal clear in hindsight. So let's take a deep breath, recognize that there was a clear problem, that was a disappointment to everybody, including the city, an embarrassment to Dunn, which they have mentioned many times. Clearly, this was an eye-opener for a number of neighborhood councils. So, you know, I don't want to create a conspiracy out of it. It's a mistake that propagated because there was too much complacency, and it was a wake-up call for everybody, for us, for other neighborhood councils, for the city. Good things will come out of it. Whoever is responsible, it's the city attorney and job to prosecute. We are simply elected members to work with the community on outreach, on getting them city services. So while we are highly disappointed in this, it comforts us that there is a huge body of legal team and prosecutorial team that is working on this. It is not being dropped. So we should be comforted with that, and let's move on. Okay? All right. Thank you. It's 10 to 7.
I have on the agenda a break at 7 o'clock. How are we doing? We're doing all right? Can we take a 5-minute break? 5 minutes was enough? We'll start back at 7 exactly? Okay, thank you. 5-minute break.
allocate into that category of money to cover potential items.
Um,